Hi, my name is Jamie Martin. I'm the lead game UI UX manager over at Akili. We're both a digital pharmaceutical company and a video game studio. You can find our offices in the Bay Area and Boston, and the title of my talk is Bad Frames and Blinders. A little bit about me, real quick. I've been doing design for about 20 years now. The first half of my career was spent working in ad agencies, and then the enterprise space afterwards, working on software for Fortune 500 companies. The latter half of my career has been in the video game industry, working on blockbuster titles like Call of Duty, Game of War, Smite, Torchlight, and others. At Akili, what makes us different from other studios is that our games are powered by years of cutting edge, clinically validated science. We have some of the brightest minds in neurodiversity on our staff working on making these games effective medicine. And it's our job on the video game side to make sure that the experience is fun and engaging. Achilles sees a future in which children can be prescribed a video game instead of pills that can come with harmful side effects. Our current title is called Endeavor RX. It's a game targeted at children with ADHD ages 6 to 12 with the hope of improving their attention. Over the summer, we made history by becoming the first FDA cleared video game of all time, which is a significant achievement not only just for our studio, but for video games in general. I'm very proud of what we were able to accomplish. When I started at Akili about a year and a half ago, I was super excited because it's the first product I've ever designed specifically for children. So I had a lot of questions, and I wanted to be able to properly empathize with and understand their wants and needs. I connected with the user researcher that we have at Akili, and we organized some user testing. We did about a weekend's worth of focused tests in San Francisco, where we had kids of all ages and backgrounds come in and play test our game. They went through our onboarding and the first level of our game and gave us their first impressions. We had the two-way glass and webcams and everything going. It was very official. And as the results started to come in, everything was going pretty good. And I was feeling pretty confident because the results that were coming in were mostly just kind of confirming my initial insights and assumptions. And it was just a matter of me going back to the design team and saying, look, guys, I was totally right. I told you this was going to happen. Let's get to work on what we need to do, until a certain little girl came in right towards the end of our onboarding and changed everything. She went through our initial user test and the onboarding and the first level that we have, and the moderator was doing some initial kind of exploratory questions, and the moderator asked her how long she felt like would be an appropriate amount of time to play our game. And she gave this answer. She said, "Oh, I wouldn't really want to play that long because games like these are bad for your brain." And my heart sank because I've never had a user in a research session so eloquently express the exact opposite of what my product was set out to do. And I was stunned. And I think it was very specifically the bad for your brain part that was just so seared into my memory. And all I could think about is, where did we go wrong? How did we so severely fail this little girl? And where we ended up failing was in how we framed the experience and the expectations that we had failed to set. Internally at Akili, like, we know that we're not a brain rotting game, but for some reason we had just made the assumption that others were going to feel the same way. And interestingly enough, we have this paradox of where we're doing our job so well by making it so fun that we ended up hiding the fact that it was medicine. We inadvertently muddied our value proposition to the user. We were doing so good that we were doing bad. Think of it like exercise. Suppose you were explaining the value proposition of working out. In that case, you never describe to a person, oh, you're going to do something demanding and strenuous repeatedly and embarrassingly sweat in front of strangers in a room that's either way too hot or way too cold. No, the value proposition of exercise is so that you can look like a model and have swag and be healthy and fit and have confidence. Nobody would work out if they didn't have this value proposition in mind. That's because setting these expectations is especially important, especially when you have a product that requires such a significant investment. Working out is an investment. Endeavor RX is an investment. So the user needs to know that it's worth it. You can do this both indirectly with inspiring photos or videos or examples of users where it went amazing. You also need to do it directly. Tell your users, welcome to Endeavor RX. We're going to help you improve your attention. Don't allow your users to wander astray. The second reason why proper framing is so important centers around how users compartmentalize things. Users need to be able to categorize your experience mentally. Working out is a chore like mowing the lawn. You'd never mentally compare going to amusement park to doing chores like mowing your yard or clearing your room, cleaning your room. They're two completely separate worlds. It's just something that you need to do to make your life better. Endeavor's the same way. We're not Fortnite, we're not Minecraft, we're more like Oregon Trail or Carmen San Diego. No little girl in the history of playtests has ever said, "Oh, I better stop playing Oregon Trail because it's bad for my brain." And that's because these games have properly framed themselves and set expectations for what that experience is going to be. By not framing ourselves, we set ourselves up for massive failure. Are we more fun than Fortnite? No, hell no, not in a million years. We don't want to be. But it doesn't make sense for somebody to even try to compare the two. And if users are trying to do that, then we have failed at our job. Fortnite would be like the roller coaster in the previous example. Are we more fun than Carmen San Diego or Oregon Trail? I think so. And when we frame ourselves properly and set those correct expectations, children will see us as a more fun and engaging version of the chore that you do every day instead of a AAA blockbuster game that you want to play with your friends and just kind of chill out. And in a typical quick paced product development cycle, it can lead to this blinder effect where you're so focused on what's in front of you and racing forward. Doing so can be dangerous. Make sure you're not inadvertently muddying your value proposition and only focusing on the carrot dangling in front of you that is rapid innovation. And don't be overly confident like I was, especially before the research comes in and your users have made their voice heard. Don't assume that everybody is going to naturally infer your value proposition. You need to be able to have the courage and the foresight to be able to take your blinders off and be able to look at your whole product objectively. Next up, you're going to hear from my colleague Megan, who's going to take you even further on the patient's journey and how we approach neurodiversity at Akili. If you want to learn more about Akili or Endeavor, you can check out getendeavor.com. If you want to learn more about me, my portfolio is at Jamie Marteta, and I am live Jamie on most social networks. Thank you so much for listening to my talk.